Hello all, this is Halloween, and if you love visiting cemeteries and learning about historic cemeteries as much as I do, you may want to subscribe because I'm going to be taking you somewhere new every week. In today's episode, I have the most perfect cemetery for such a romantic time of year. As you know, today we're just after Valentine's Day, and I wanted to do something a little more romantic. So in today's episode, we will be in Savannah visiting the Bonaventure Cemetery, established in 1846 during the Romantic period, which lasted from 1820 to 1900. Enjoy. We're here at the breathtaking historic Bonaventure Cemetery in Savannah, Georgia. This cemetery was established in 1846, and the first burials took place in 1850. It's a quite large cemetery, 600 acres of land. Let's go in and see what we can see. Well, it sure is a busy cemetery. I thought it was funny because they said something about no costumes or inappropriate attire. I hope they realize that this is just my normal attire and I don't get in trouble and kicked out of here. But anyway, we're going to proceed. It's busy as heck up by the front of the cemetery. There's one funeral that I saw that's going on here today, and just a lot of people coming and visiting this cemetery. It is on the National Registry for Historic Places, and it is a big tourist draw to come to the Bonaventure Cemetery. It does also offer tours, so if you wanted to come on a tour of the cemetery, you could. I don't particularly like cemetery. Well, I can't say that I don't like them. I've never actually been on one, but I kind of want free range of the cemetery. I don't want to be walked through it and only looking at certain things and learning about certain things. I want to just kind of go wherever the wind takes me, whatever I'm drawn to. So we might do one eventually at some point, but I really like just having free range, free run of the cemetery, and kind of looking at what I want to look at. That said, we came in through the front of the cemetery, but I didn't really start at the front of the cemetery because all these people coming in and out and walking around in that one little area is a little annoying. Like, I can't do a video, I can't do anything because there's people all around, and it was just kind of driving me a little batty. So I had my husband drive me into the cemetery so I can walk through and kind of look at some things and chat with you. It's amazing that they are still entering here, so it's still an active cemetery here at Bonaventure because it's such an old and historic cemetery. You would think that it would be closed off to new burials or new interments. And look at this, I just found a chef here. If you didn't already know, I'm also a chef, so it's cool to find one of my brothers here. Says Kevin Christopher Carpenter, and at the bottom it says, "Are you ready?" In loving memory. Pretty cool pair of shoes there. It looks like he worked at a Sunday cafe. It's very awesome. There's some new memorials here, as you can see. 2009, he passed in 2015. So actually January 29th was just like 2 days ago, so it's the anniversary of his passing. We just passed that. Right here is they have a whole Jewish area here, part of the cemetery. What I love about it is like how congested it is. That sounds like a bad word, congested, but when the memorials are so close like this, it just looks pretty cool. And there's some beautiful headstones here. Again, we see where they've left rocks and pebbles and stones for the departed to say that they've been here to visit. Right here, there's a beautiful archway. Entryway here, all in Hebrew. for this part of the cemetery, and then it just leads, and I think it goes all the way back. This is the right, if you come into the cemetery, the Jewish part is the right side, and it's probably a quarter, well, I wouldn't say a quarter, it's less than a quarter of the cemetery, but it's a large portion of it. And it's this whole right side and all the way to the back here. So it's pretty cool. Just looking at all of these headstones just so close together. I just think it looks so neat. I mean, there literally is almost no walking space in between the memorials. So you got to be careful where you step, because you could trip over, you know, something like that. You can see how some of these older ones they're just kind of fair wear and tear, you know. Some of them have sunk, some of them have lifted, probably because of these larger trees. Here, there's trees all around, tree roots and things like that. But it's pretty cool. I love it. And that's the little, it's like a little chapel, I guess, where they have memorials. But it almost looks like a schoolhouse. Like there's a, looks like there's a whiteboard, and I don't know, we'll take a peek. It is a beautiful day. Weather is only in the like high 60s. It's breezy, it's blue and clear. It's a great day to come and look at the cemetery. Just stay away from the front of it. I don't know what people are doing. They're coming in, they're going out, they can't decide what they're doing. Look at this. I thought it kind of looks like a schoolhouse, but it's definitely a chapel. Oh, you know what that is? I don't know, on the back? Those are people's names. Unfortunately, I can't read Hebrew. If anybody can help me out. It does not look like it's a niche. It's just, I think it's names of the departed, like, you know, just to commemorate people that have passed. I can't even pronounce Hebrew, so I'm not really gonna try if anybody can help me out there. But yeah, that's cool. Okay, so it doesn't go all the way to the back because we're now into another section. It's just the far right side, and going back about halfway, the far right corner is the Hebrew Jewish side. Oh no, there's more here. There's more here. So I don't really know how far it goes back. It's big though. It's definitely a larger Jewish area. Still in the Jewish section, and I've noticed this hand gesture here. And I don't know what this means. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm thinking Mork and Mendy, but I'm pretty sure that that's not what it is. Some kind of Jewish hand gesture. I don't know. Again, help me out in the comments down below if you know what that might mean. That's a new hand gesture that I actually have never seen, even in Jewish sections of cemeteries. So, pretty cool. Like I always say, there's something new in every cemetery. We are still in the Jewish section, so as I suspected, it's pretty large, probably about a quarter of the cemetery, a whole quarter of the 600 acres. But look at this. Perlinsky Shel. We're gonna take a peek inside. Oh, the screen is busted. Oh, it's cold in there. It's been cold outside, so just look at that. Wow. A lot of inserts in there too. Let's see. 3, 6, 9, 12, 20 inserts in this one. Really cool. It's beautiful. There is a very, very cold, it's cold in there, like, very, very cold in there. Wow. Let's go over here. Meinhard, or Meinard, maybe? Meinard? I don't know how you pronounce it, but let's take a look. Oh, yeah. Oh, and look at the stained glass. Right there. Again, a lot of inserts. Family, 36, 12. 12 in this one. Very nice. There are little markers here at the cemetery that kind of tell you what sections. So there probably, if you go to the office, there probably is a guide, and you can probably find whoever you're looking for a lot easier if you go to the office and get the guide. But this evergreen circle, well, the cemetery was established in 1846. The first burials took place in 1850, and then the city of Savannah actually took over ownership of this particular piece of land in 1907, and the cemetery was then renamed Bonaventure Cemetery. So that evergreen has historic reference. It's not just a name. It used to be the name of this cemetery. Randall, Hall, and Keller. Has to be a derivative of my husband's name, Randall. He's been desperately looking for family members. There is a McDonough, Georgia, so this could be that family here, buried at Bonaventure. Not really sure. We got a William Lee McDonough, Lisa Whitekind McDonough, or Whitekind. It's not Whitekind, it's Whitekind. I don't know how to I don't know how to pronounce that name, but this could be them. Kind of modest if they have literally a whole part of Georgia named for them. So, but it could at least even be family of theirs. Wanted to see what this section is over here. It looks intriguing. Has its own little entryway. Oh, it's for the veterans. They've got a little veterans section here. You see the flag in the middle? Here's the flag. Yeah. Sacred to the memory of veterans of world wars. They served for God and country to promote peace and goodwill on earth. Cool. It says Tybee Island, post 154. And this one says George K. Gannum, post number 184. So this is the veterans part of the cemetery. You can see here where stones have been left by their loved ones. Pennies, crystals, just little offerings. Very cool. Y'all see the golf cart back there? That's the cemetery tour, which is cool and everything, but you're just on a golf cart the whole time, so it's not really my cup of tea. But, and plus, I don't know. Just kind of crammed in with a bunch of other people, so that's all I'm saying. If you like that sort of thing, great. They have one here. You should check it out. Check out this. Has a wrought iron fence all around it, and then there's like box hedges or something that aren't very boxed, but you can just crawl right through here. Somebody's buried here. Let's see. Here lies the body of William Blythe Butler, late. One of his Majesty Honorable Council, whose amiable qualities and benevolent disposition when living endeared him to his friends. And dead, excite in them. Oh gosh, it's hard to read. It's really hard to read. I'm going to take a still shot. Maybe you guys can read it. It's just a really cool kind of place to be laid to rest here. He's got his own little space in this wrought iron fence. This is right next to the Lawton family. Oh, this is in with, this whole plot is Lawton. This whole plot, big plot for the Lawton family. So they must have been quite important here in Savannah, because they have a really beautiful setup right on the water. And this is just gorgeous and a little eerie, you know. Angel, I guess, or a Greek statue even almost. Could be an angel, just a beautiful lady with white eyes. I took a close-up of that because that's just too cool looking. Look at this, 2 babies buried here. But I thought this was just so awesome. Look at the 2 little baby faces sculpted into the stone. Pierce and Catherine. This one was born in 1892 and passed in 1895. And Catherine, 1904 to 1906. Wow. This is the Wellis family. They have a lot of really cool monuments in their plot here. Very beautiful. This is the big draw for the Bonaventure Cemetery. Little Gracie Watson. Gracie Watson was the daughter of a hotelier here in Savannah, and basically being the daughter of the hotel owner, she had free run of the hotel. So she was very loved by all the people of Savannah and all of the visitors who would come into the hotel just passing through. She would just run around the hotel and playing and coming up and meeting people, and she was vibrant with just that precious little girl personality. And she ended up passing away of pneumonia. I believe it was in 1890, right before Easter. I'll correct that if I'm wrong, but I've been reading about her. I think it's 1890. 2 days before Easter, she passed away of pneumonia. And she's laid to rest right here. Unfortunately, her gate is locked. I guess they don't want people coming in, and they want it to stay well maintained and properly cared for, so they've locked the gate. It says Gracie Watson up here. Now, I heard some of the, there was another couple of people in front of us saying that they thought she had died of yellow fever. If she had passed away of yellow fever, she would not have a proper burial. Didn't matter who you were. If you passed away of yellow fever, you were buried in a mass grave. Nobody knew how the disease was spreading until John P. Wall of Tampa came along and figured out it was actually mosquitoes that carried the virus. After that point is when they were finally able to start properly burying those who passed away of yellow fever. John P. Wall, is actually buried in Tampa at the Oak Lawn Cemetery. But that's little Gracie Watson. The beautiful depiction of her is actually an exact depiction of her that was sculpted out of stone by up-and-coming sculptor at the time, John Walls. And that's what makes it such a draw for everyone to come see her, because it's a very unusual headstone. Typically a headstone could be carved in the likeness, but this is an exact likeness of her. And it's very beautiful. I'll take an up-close shot. I can't get in there obviously, but I'll zoom on my cameras just so that you can see the details. But it's really beautiful. Well, the mob just arrived right behind us to see Gracie. We're gonna head out of this cemetery. It was a beautiful cemetery. Lots of very important people buried here. I've covered a lot of ground and I'm getting hungry. So that's it for this one. I'll see you at the next one. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope you loved the Bonaventure Cemetery. I really thought it was beautiful and historic, and it checked all the boxes. It was just, there were so many unique and different memorials. Seeing little Gracie Watson was amazing. She's definitely a tourist draw. A lot of people go there just to see her. A lot of tourists go to that cemetery in general. It's quite crowded, which is a little off-putting. You kind of want that space to just kind of run around and be quiet and peaceful. And it's a little bit crazy because there's so many people trying to visit the cemetery. That said, I will touch on a little bit of cemetery etiquette again for you. So if you recall, if you watched my video on Johnny and June's memorial in Hendersonville, Tennessee, I touched on the fact that there are a lot of tourists going in to visit the most famed headstones in the cemetery at some of these cemeteries. This one, which had even a tour going through it when I was there. So it's a very historic, very visited cemetery. And when you have so many people trying to see these notable figures in the cemetery, you need to be mindful of other people's time. I went to visit little Gracie Watson, and there was a woman there, 2 women actually, when I got there. They had already been there for I don't even know how long. It seemed like they were trying to coax her spirit to appear there at her gravesite. They were, saying things, oh, little sweet girl, and all this stuff. And I'm just going, oh my gosh. And they were there for a while. They had a video going, taking video footage. And I'm waiting, and I'm looking at the nearby resting places. And I ran out of places to look at. They were there that long. And then they see me waiting, and they continue. And continue. It must have been about 15 minutes. I'm waiting for these people to leave this site so that I can go and visit Gracie myself. It's just rude. If anything, if you want to take more footage, wait for a time when there's nobody there or waiting and come back and take a little more footage. But don't sit there for 10, 15 minutes taking picture after picture or doing video footage when you know that there are people waiting to get in that space. It's just poor etiquette for, the cemetery, especially one that's so historic and so visited. Just be mindful of others around you and be respectful. Another thing I wanted to mention was that I was a ghost tour guide for 4 years in Ybor City. And in our script, and for 4 years, I've been telling people that John P. Wall was the doctor that discovered insects carried yellow fever. And if I'm wrong about something, I'm going to tell you. It wasn't necessarily me. It was the ghost tour company that I worked for. And their script was wrong. And I guess I don't know if maybe I didn't double check it. I know that on Dr. John P. Wall's tombstone in the Oak Lawn Cemetery, it does say something about yellow fever on there, on his tombstone. He was also the mayor of Tampa for, I think, 1876 to 1878. I just got curious about that information all of a sudden for some reason, and I looked it up, and actually, it was Major Walter Reed and his team that discovered and proved that insects carried yellow fever. And Dr. John P. Wall was one of the doctors that helped to eradicate it once it was discovered. So I'm getting my facts straight here. I just wanted to relay that information to you. I went ahead and left it in the video just because I didn't want to chop it up. And it's something that I thought had been true all this time. And it actually, he did have a lot to do with eradicating the yellow fever, to make that perfectly clear. I also wanted to tell you about some really great food we had on the Riverwalk. We went to Huey's, which is right on the Riverwalk. It's a New Orleans-inspired cuisine restaurant. And the only problem that I had with it is it looked more like a lighthouse on the bay, like inside the decor, the theme of it. But the food was amazing. We had the oysters Norman, which was a lightly breaded oyster with, it had a garlic flavor to it. So it had maybe a garlic butter sauce or something drizzled over the top of it. It was on top of a bed of coleslaw, which was delicious, and drizzled with remoulade sauce, which was absolutely amazing. Me and my husband also split the shrimp and scallop thermidor. It's just a delicious pasta with fresh shrimp and scallops that were perfectly cooked. It's like a butter, it's just like a garlic butter sauce, I think, the thermidor. I had never heard of that before, but it was very flavorful, topped with Parmesan cheese, and you have your shrimp and scallops. It was so good. And another place I wanted to tell you about was actually called The Crown, and it is a sweet and savory pie and pastry shop, but it also has a full bar in it. We had a delicious butter beer, which, if you're not familiar, it's from Harry Potter. It's so good, but it had alcohol in it. Like, it's an alcoholic butter beer, but it was amazing. That was on one day. And then another day we went and we tried one of the savory pies, which was a beef and Stilton blue cheese pastry pie. It was so good. They called them pasties, and they were so good. We were going to get a pie to bring home, and we totally forgot. But we went there twice on our trip, and we were only there for 3 days. Same with Huey's. We went there twice on our trip, and we were only there for 3 days. So I just wanted to tell you about those places. Those are definitely some places you're going to want to hit up while in Savannah. I know everybody is all the rage about Paula Deen's, but it's not all about Paula Deen. Literally anywhere you go in Savannah pretty much has great food. I've never had bad food there. And I'll be telling you about more of those stops in my next video. I know it's after Valentine's Day, but I hope you had a great Valentine's Day. I hope you and your significant other, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, went out and had a good time, maybe had dinner. If not and you were by yourself, I hope you had an awesome day. Maybe went out on a date by yourself, went to the park, walked your dog, just whatever makes you happy. That does it for today's episode. I'll see you next time.